Hello, my name is Eugenia, and I am so happy that you have decided to join me in this meditation. Every week I host a call for my breath family around the world. We like to start with a short meditation. Many of them have asked me if I could share the meditation so they could do it through the rest of the week. So here it is, available for anybody that wants to connect deeper with their breath and meditation. I invite you to find a comfortable and relaxed position for yourself. I also invite you to explore a little bit more about the principles of transformational breath, which are fundamental for these meditations. You can follow the link below to have a guided exercise to learn these basic principles. Get comfortable and let's get started. We are going to start with our breathing meditation. Make sure that your body is relaxed and supported. Make sure that your breath is flowing, connected, and effortless. To that rhythm, that speed, and that depth, where you know you're not doing any effort. Where you know that the only thing that is happening is your body nurturing itself and you connecting deeper and deeper with that part of you. Feel the gentle expansion of your chest and your belly. Feel how one movement follows the next in every part of your body. Like the beautiful clockwork machine that we are. Every part of us is connected to the whole inside our body. And we feel its perfect flow now. Softly surrender to this flow of perfection as you dive deeper within. Feeling you deeper, softer, perfect, deep, profound understanding. This perfection that you're feeling inside of you is reflected in every person that touches your life. They have within them perfect synchronicity of all the parts that makes them them. And as you feel this perfection inside of you, in your physical body, and that of the people in your life, you start to notice something different, and you open yourself to this new awareness that this perfection, this unique flow, this gentle rhythm is present in every aspect of life. And just as we don't understand every single movement of our biological body, what we acknowledge is perfection and completion. We might not understand every movement and action that happens around us in life, but we know and feel that it is in the perfect flow. That everything that is moving and unfolding is doing so to achieve balance. And if we witness it and we allow it to play out, we will see the results of that balance. And understanding and acceptance can come. As we see this vision, we know now we can't always move ourselves to that space of clarity in the future, where the flow of that balance has been revealed. For even when we might not understand it in the present, we know it's heading there. Forgiveness, love, acceptance can blossom now in our hearts in the present moment into any action that is in front of us. I love now. Surrender to the flow now. I am part of the perfect balance of life. And now, with the peace and gratitude that this awareness brings into your heart, softly start to bring yourself back, relaxing your body, softly moving, stretching, and bringing yourselves fully back, opening your eyes, a big smile on your face, ready to carry on. Good morning, my beloveds. You can all go ahead and unmute yourselves. So I'm gonna say welcome to life.
Yeah.
Because what you're experiencing, it's unique, of course. You know, your own dynamic is your own dynamic, but these kind of reflections and questions that you're having, they're very common. When we are in a relationship, we see ourselves so much more clearly, and things are in front of us and we can't ignore them because they're right in front of us continuously. So it's a tricky thing, because I hear your desire to be alone, to find yourself, and yet there's also the potential to see yourself deeper when you're in a relationship. So it can go either way. There's no wrong answer in this one. I I would like to share with you my personal experience, see if it brings some light, you know. This is going to be a very personal journey, and you are going to find the answer that you're looking for. But the thing is, it's not the one answer. This is a question you're going to be asking yourself every day. Who am I? Who am I in this relationship? Who am I without my parents? Who am I as a mother? And every day you're going to learn a little bit about yourself. And it's going to be a continuous process. The questions, you need to keep asking them, but the answers, they're going to show themselves at their own time. And that's the tricky part of this. But I will share with you my journey on this, because partnership in relationships has been one of my themes in life. You know, as you guys know, I've had an unstable childhood. I don't think if I told you all the details, but my mom died shortly after I was born. She was in bed most of the pregnancy, C-section at 8 months, and then she died shortly after that. And then my dad has married 4 times, so I've lived with these stepmoms. One of them was severely abusive, physically, mentally, emotionally. And then I lived with so many people, like with my grandmother, with my aunt, with my other aunt, spending time at friends' homes. A very, very always unstable life, and always trying to change myself to fit in other people's homes. And for most of my childhood, with this abusive stepmother, just really trying to disappear. So, you know, when you're not seen, you cannot be hit. So it's the safest place. So it's like my background. And of course, I had a deep desire for a relationship, because a part of me really, really wanted to have that love, that stability, that family, you know. Even though I have a very loving family, you know, I have my sister, my dad has always been a very important and loving presence in my life, my aunts, my grandmother, like I had a lot of people, but there was this sense of loneliness and lack of security in me. And a part of me really, really wanted the partnership. And of course, I was totally unable to manifest a partner, let alone a healthy relationship. But for like my most of my young adult life, there was no partners. I would just fall in love with people and like have these huge crushes in this guy or that guy, and nobody will ever like engage with me. So like I had my first boyfriend halfway through university. It took me that long. And then of course I started to have relationships, and they were very, very unhealthy. Even though I wanted a partnership, I said I will never marry. That was my, like, I will never have children and I will never marry. I always said that. And I was very afraid of that. And then the relationships that I manifested were very unstable. And my longest relationship with this beautiful, beautiful guy. We're still really good friends. It lasted 8 years. We actually lived together for a few years at the end. But he will break up with me every few months, no longer than 6 months. So through those 8 years, I never really had a stable relationship. We love each other deeply, but it was insane. It was insane. It was so intense, and the emotion and everything. And then he will break up with me, and then he will come back, and then break up again and come back. So that was like my more stable relationship. And from then below, you name it. You name it. Um, so it was very, very hard for me to actually believe that I could be in a relationship. I wanted to have a life partner, and in my mind, this was going to work without getting married. I didn't want to get married because that felt very scary. But I wanted somebody that would commit to me for life. So finally, breath work happened. I started to shift and grow. And then I was in the middle of all of this, and I decided I didn't want a partner anymore. That I wanted to be, at the time, I have a bunch of friends who were polyamorous. And I was like, oh, this is the thing, this is the thing, like no attachment, really just exploring who you are, a very deep communication, and like openness because Mexican culture, there is a lot of cheating from the husband's part. Like it's very much accepted that you get married and then you have a mistress, right? So in my mind, it's like, oh, this is the solution, you're open about it, blah, blah, blah. So I was, in my mind, I let go of relationships, and I was like, I don't want to the relationship. I want to be open for connections. Then I met my husband, and he's like this very stable, solid guy, He was married forever, got divorced, and like just had a couple of solid relationships. And that's what he always wanted. So we meet, we start dating. So this is the first time in my life that I actually attract a stable person who believes in commitment, marriage, and relationship, right? And I'm like, no. We're gonna date, but I'm free to see other people and you're free to see other people and blah, blah, blah. He's like, well, I'm not gonna see anybody, but you can do whatever you want. I know I want you, and I'm gonna be here. And I'm like, sure. He's gonna just fade away, right? So over time, we go in, and he's like slowly, breaking down my barriers. I won't tell you the whole story, but long story short, we end up married. And I wake up one day and I go, what the hell happened here? How did I say yes? He proposed and we got married in 7 days. And that's the only reason why it happened, because if I had more time to think, he proposed many times, but when I actually say yes, we got married in 7 days. I think I would have backed out. By day 5, I was ready to back out, but it was too fast, so I didn't. But the thing I really want to share with you is like how deep my fear was, and how deep I had to look at all this series of fears when I finally made that commitment. And it doesn't have to be marriage, okay? I'm just talking, for me, the taboo was marriage, that's never gonna work in my mind. That's how it sounded to me. So I finally, what's been happening to me in we've been married 10 years, together 11, okay? And I am talking about the last 2 years. I'm finally figuring out how to communicate with him. And I consider myself a pretty good communicator. think I'm a decent listener, you know. I have great relationships with my working partners, with my family, but we are so different. If we're gonna say, okay, let's buy the best outfit for this, he's gonna go for the black, I'm gonna go for the white. In everything we do. He's loving, he's supportive, he's nurturing, he needs to think about everything, he needs everything. We do it different. He comes from a family that does not talk at all. At all. And I come from a family where we talk and we yell and we scream, and then we're like, okay, it's fine. I said everything I had to say. I yell at you, but it's fine. I love you. Okay, thank you. I love you too. Bye. We can go angry to our rooms, but without I love you. And the first 3 years of our marriage, I told him I wanted a divorce pretty much every month. This is post breath work, you guys, okay? I was already a senior trainer by then, okay? And he was just like, no, that's not how this works. So he was just so not what I was used to. I will freak out, I will whatever, you know, and he was there. It didn't matter what I did, he was there. So it's like my biggest desire and my worst nightmare all in one, right? So he will make me face this part of me almost every day. In both sides, you know, what you really desire and when you truly fear. That stability. It's like, what the hell is this? I didn't know what to do with it. Then it switched, and the next 3 years, he wanted to leave me. And then I was like, how can you leave me? We have built all of this together. Who am I without you? Horrible, you guys. I mean, of course, not every day, you know. We love each other deeply. So that dialogue you're having, Sophie, I lived with it for years in my mind, okay? It's not until these last 2 years that I have been really digging deep, deep, deep within and really facing me and my fears, my deepest, deepest fears, that I'm actually learning to talk to him. And I'm not saying stay with him, divorce him, you know. No, I'm just telling you what happened to me. Because many times through this process, I felt we were not going to be able to be happy together. I truly felt it. And I so connected with you right now because my person that I consider my mom figure, which is one of my aunts who I've lived with many times through my life for long periods of time, her and my uncle, they are my rock. My uncle passed last year and a half, and it's been really hard for like the whole family dynamic, but I love them, and they have been my shelter and my safe home and everything. But they had a horrible relationship. They yell at each other every day. They love each other, and I see my aunt without him, and it's so sad, you know. I mean, she has a loving family, but there's a piece of her that really, really misses him. But they yell at each other every single day. And they didn't really talk to each other with respect. And they argue about everything. And I had a moment just like you, and I said, I do not want my marriage to be like this. And I am doing exactly that. I don't respect him. I boss him around. I want to tell him what to do all the time. Why is this guy with me? Like, why hasn't he left me? That was like, that went to my mind. Like, that started about 3 years ago. And that was the question in my mind. Why is he with me? Because I knew why I was with him. Because no matter what, I love him and I see all the beauty in him. But my question was, why is he with me? How can he put up with this part of me? And it has to do, like, he will never quit anything. Even if it's not working, he will not quit. I had to bring that in my life to work through this. But it started for me 3 years ago, and I started to say, I do not want this marriage. I do not want to treat him with a lack of respect. I mean, I'm nice to him, and I talk to him, and I respect him, and I let him do his decisions. But that piece of telling him what to do and criticizing him that I will see my aunt and my uncle so clearly 3 years ago, I was doing it with him and I did not know how to change it. For a year, I was just like, how do I move this? And then in these last 2 years, it's been an exercise, exhausting exercise on talking and trying to mirror back and trying to tell him how I communicate and how he communicates. And the hardest part for me, and this has been in this year actually, I kept expecting him to change and communicate with me the way I wanted. And I know in my mind it didn't sound like that. I really, really felt that I was listening to him. But it took one of those touch rock bottom moments for me to actually see that I was not allowing him to be himself. And it was like one of those, I got into the shower and cried in the shower floor for like an hour. Like, I'm either gonna leave this guy today and find happiness on my own, because that's the easiest thing, or I'm actually gonna take a hard look at myself and really honor my truth and own the pieces that I'm not making work in this relationship. And I came out of that and it was like, I want to figure it out because I can leave him and I can try to work on this on myself, and I might be able to or not. And I might have another partner and then hate him, hate him in the arguments for a whole other new reason or the same. But this is not going to get resolved outside. It's never going to get resolved outside. It's not about the relationship. It's not about the communication. It's not about who they are or who we are as a couple. It's about who I am. And I don't know, Sophie, how it's going to work for you. But I know the work, it's internal. And if you stick with it, it's going to start to change. And I don't know if it's karma, destiny, life lessons, the wiring, the genetics, but there are some pieces that are going to be part of us for life. But it doesn't mean we cannot grow in them and through them. And I see now it was never about the communication. It's about really learning unconditional love. And I really thought I got unconditional love. But there's a part of me that has always felt responsible for others. And the understanding in my family of caring for others is guiding them through life. And I had to really let go of that piece and give him his own identity as an adult, which is ridiculous because he's 17 years old, older than me. But it was that piece of totally surrendering and letting go to his own destiny. He has some heart conditions, and when he does something he's not supposed to do, this is one of our big arguments. Like, we don't have a lot of arguments, like, really, but the bigger ones, one of them is that him not taking care of himself, and he does that. And it's like, okay, he might get really sick from this, and I need to be okay with it. He's okay with it. He's totally okay with it. And in my mind, it's like, well, if he gets sick, I'm gonna have to take care of him. It's my business too. No. So it was that piece of truly accepting him, trusting his path, respecting him, so that I can respect myself. And I'm not going through this process this year with the I'm gonna disrespect me, which is what I've done before. I'm gonna respect everybody else to adapt to this ecosystem that I'm living in so that I can survive. No. I'm asking myself the question every day, is this gonna work for me? but I am honoring that peace as I am honoring him. And it hasn't been an easy exercise. And we've been working in these 11 years together to get here in our communications, in our respect, in our love. But what I've learned this year is what we all know that is so true, but it's for some reason it's so hard to see in relationships. If I move to another city, if I quit this job, if I leave this relationship, I take every single problem I had in there with me. So Sophie, if what you're looking for, it's a different way of relating in a relationship, a different way of communicating without yelling, a different way of arguing that is not in front of your children or in front of your children, which can demonstrate a different way of arguing. It's possible. And the key is not him. And the key is not the marriage. It's always going to be just you. It's definitely easier to work with yourself when you're alone, but it will never be as deep.